Good. So let's do a quick prayer before we start. Father, we are here together once more this beautiful Saturday, where we share our thoughts, our doubts. We try to learn a little bit more about mediumship, and hopefully we'll learn better how to use this gift that we receive to help others. Be with us through this study and help us out to profit as much as we can, the best as we can, of this opportunity. So be it.
Amen.
So I think today I will start to do something a bit different. Through the study, I'll pick one name and I'll start to make questions just to be sure that people that are with the camera switch off are not sleeping, all right? And not only that, to see if we're being able to pass the message as we would like to, because sometimes we think we are passing the message and perhaps we are not. All right? I have some names here on the screen that sometimes you don't even know they are here because they are not even say hi. So it's a bit difficult to us to know if the messages are going through. Okay. So let me share my screen. All right. This is coming over here. Last Saturday, we have started the chapter 21, the influence of the surroundings. I do not remember if we already spoken about the first item or not, but I think as it is very important, we'll speak about that again, if we have spoken about that. I think you already saw me more than once speaking about our spiritual atmosphere. Right? Kardec called the surroundings, and it's the same thing. And I don't think that we'll ever stop talking about that, because we all used to forget that very often through our choices, through our day-to-day thing. So let's see what is the first question and the first answer. Do the surroundings in which mediums work exert any influence on the manifestations? All the spirits who surround mediums help them either for good or evil. I like to make a comparison in this question with the magnetism. Human magnetism is something that we all have. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil. Knowledge that we all can acquire can be used for good, can be used for evil. And history, the humankind history, has plenty of examples of knowledge being used for good and for evil. Electricity can also be used for good and evil. Anything, basically, can be used for good or for evil. What defines is who is behind, the intention, the choices, the application. And a good thing is that we all have the power to decide if A thing, electricity, magnetism, mediumship, etc., can be used for good or can be used for evil. We are in the driving seat. We have this power. Hi, Sandra.
Hello, morning, everyone. I read this question last week because I was going to say something, but last Saturday was almost 11:27. I said, no time. It's interesting because here Kardec says about surroundings, which is really, really wide. And then I remember when I was still married in Brazil, we went on a celebration with someone that my ex-husband, a friend. As soon as I was in front of the big house, I felt a very strong negative energy. So just to make the story short, very rich people drinking already, it was 11 in the morning. All the wives and it was a very disgusting environment. So I spoke with my ex-husband and said, okay, we are going to leave. I'm not going to stay here with my children. He said, oh, sorry, it's a business. I said, okay, if you have to do your business, carry on. So I called a cab and went back home. So you see, they're surrounded. So I was invited Saturday morning, family, you see, what a disappointment. So it's everywhere, anywhere, the surroundings. Yes. So as you said, our choice to stay. Yes. It was a big issue afterwards, you can imagine, but I had to decide. Say what I did. Yeah. Feel sorry. All the kids there, all the young children there in that horrible environment. Very sad. Yeah.
From what you said, Sandra, we can take so many things from there, right? I will start with the main one, in my opinion. Examples. We are examples. And we are the main reference as an example to our kids. If we used to do something very well, 99% of chances that your kid will try to reproduce what you did. Of course, there is a group of kids that, for example, a father like to smoke 10 packets a day and he hates cigarettes for some reason. Of course, there are this type of situations. But the great majority will follow the examples they have at home and they have from the parents. Simple things that sometimes we do not pay enough attention. When they grow old, oh, your son really looks like you. He's drinking exactly like you. He's writing exactly like you. He's acting exactly like you. This is not genetics. He had or she had years to learn how to do it with examples at home. Of course, examples are not only received at home, we receive at schools, we receive from friends, etc. But the main reference, for good or for bad, is at home. So this is something that we all need to be aware. We all need to be conscious about our choices. The ambient described by Sandra, I think we spoke at length last time, and is always a theme that unpleased people, because a lot of people decide not to talk, not to unplease someone else. But I see as I cannot let it go, because not because I'm against or I'm in favor, not at all. I just want to pass the information. And I think that is what I study is for. Alcohol. Doesn't matter if you like or not. Doesn't matter if you believe or not. We have enough information, enough data from the spiritual world that every time we open a bottle of alcohol, it's kind of, we are inviting spirits that are in need of someone to drink alcohol so they can absorb the fluids. They cannot drink the alcohol directly. They need someone to drink for them. And they would do everything to convince, to steer the person to have a glass or two, a bottle or two or more. Because that's the way they have to drink. They will absorb the fluids from the incarnated that is drinking. But we don't need to have alcohol or cigars or anything toxic like that at home to have a heavy home, if I can call it like that. Because our thoughts are very powerful. Our thoughts are very powerful. There's another thing a lot of people don't like to talk on the Spiritist studies or lectures because it's very controversial too. Some words I say are very powerful. And we have enough scientific data that proves that. Because universities studied that. We have videos on the internet proving the power of the word. We can kill a plant with our thoughts, with our words. The opposite, we can heal a plant with our words, with our thoughts. So if I do have parents that are fighting constantly, the ambient is not perfect, right? For what you can see. But what you can't see is way worse. Hi, Sandra.
Oh, sorry, me again. You know, everyone knows that I work in a Catholic school, and then I have this in my head. Sorry to ask, but in the Bible, in the Gospel, there are so many occasions when Jesus refers to wine, because they used to drink wine. So you know what happened when he went to the wedding and not enough wine. So sorry, I'm confused now about what it was very strong when you said when we open a bottle of alcohol. And then I'm confused, sorry, about what is in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can help me, please.
Let me think first about, let's pick me as an example today. I'm not going to pick anyone. I pick myself. And here next to me is Jesus. I drink one glass of wine and he can drink a bottle of wine. What kind of protection he has, what kind of protection I don't have. I think is a massive difference between the two examples, right? Also, we do not know for sure if he really drink alcohol or not. The same way we do not know for sure if he spunk anyone in the temple, like is written. There are a few things that are written that are a bit controversial in the Bible. If we believe Jesus is all good, is all love, there are things that are written that are a bit contrary of what this picture we have of him would be. But he was also incarnated as a human. As a human, he could have flaws. I'm not saying he had, but he could have flaws. He could have tendencies as well. Remember that the greatest part of his life, we had no information because no one wrote anything about that. We have no information. We don't know. So we don't know. But what we know is that we have mediums clairvoyance. We have enough information on the spiritism through serious mediums, through serious spirits. And of course, if you're going to drink a glass of wine, very unlikely you will be attacked, because there are even people who drink by medical orders. Sorry. By medical orders. But quite often, when you open a bottle, it's not just for a glass. It's for a bottle, it's for a little bit more than a bottle. I did many times. So it's not a point of putting anyone on the spot or blame anyone. No, I'm not doing this. I just said I did many times. But I felt the presence as well many times. Some mediums, they have the ability to feel the spiritual presence beside them. So I would not recommend anyone to do. Feel free to do so, but I would not recommend, because when you open a bottle, it's a kind of invitation. Oh dear, 3 hands. I don't know who was the first. Who was the first?
Elsa Lee.
I think Elsa Lee. Yeah.
Hi, Elsa Lee.
Sorry, I come a little bit late. Sorry. About Jesus, when we ask about Jesus, we must take at Jesus. He was a very, very, very high spirit from another side in the universe. So, and if he could do our planet and another 2 ones with help of a bit of bite parts of Sul, some. Jesus, he doesn't have the same behavior we had here. We are helpful in the earth, but he was, yes, of course, he was in the party and then the wedding. He was, yes, because he was there, but he helped Maria with the wine miracle, but because he used the time to learn people. Excuse me. That's right. To learn people, to understand the situation in the social situation, but he didn't. He doesn't have the same behavior necessity behavior he had. No. He used the time in the social life to learn people, to explain things, use it to explain it that. They use it all the time. He used it, his time to explain things for us. He didn't never missed one opportunity to. So, but yes, but not at he was there or drink wine. No, he didn't. He doesn't need it. So this is, I think, yes, I have in my heart that Jesus doesn't need our needs, but he never said no, it's wrong. So later with Spiritism, so understood we that if we use wine or I don't know more whiskey, so this is not good because everybody's medium, and so Guilherme already said it.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you. 2 things came to my mind when Elsa Lee was talking. First one was an example of alcohol used by another religion. As Sandra spoken about Catholicism, I will speak a little bit about Umbanda. Through the mediumistic work they do, sometimes they drink alcohol. And they do not drink a glass. They may drink a bottle or more of vodka, whiskey, cachaça, some spirits, heavy spirits, and a high tier of alcohol. And when this mediumistic work is over, the medium has no trace of alcohol at all. So why I'm saying that as well, there are things we do not know. I do not know. The mechanism behind that, we could elaborate a bit, but I don't think is the subject of our study here, right? So there are things and things. So depending on kind of example I want to use, if I want to use an example to justify that I want to drink wine, fair dues, I'm going to use the example of a priest drinking wine in front of everybody. If I want to drink a lot of spirits, I can use that example on Umbanda, for example. So doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. What matters is the mechanism that suffering spirits need people drinking so they can enjoy the vapors of that. And another thing that came to my mind when Ursuli was talking was Spiritism will not condemn if you drink or if you don't drink. Spiritism does not forbid you to drink or not, but the information is there and the choice is yours. So now let me go to the second hand. Was Munir or Ana Paula the second one? I don't know. I'll pick one.
Let Ana Paula speak.
I don't know also for sure.
Ana Paula now, I think.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. I was just gonna say that I remember that Jesus in that wedding that he was invited with his mother, and that Maria asked to turn the water in wine because he was gonna miss. He was reluctant. He didn't want to use his what he could for that, but she insisted because it was relatives or something, and we really need to do that. So just to clear the question that was made before, just this part that I remember.
Yeah, very good, very good. Just one thing that I always like to say, that we know what has been written and what has been translated and written over and over and over. And some things have been changed and historically found centuries after because of some interest at the time. So yes, we should use the gospel, we should use the Bible as reference for sure, but it always should be attentive or use the reason. All right? Hi, Munia.
Hi, Guilherme. Very interesting what everyone said. I also want to add to this discussion. First, the fact that wine at Jesus' time was different from the wine we have today. Apparently, reading some publications on that, they say the wine was awful, was terrible, and the percentage of alcohol was more or less the same as today. But they had to mix salt water, they used to mix honey, herbs. So in the end, was a kind of punch with around 3% of alcohol or less. So it was different from what we have today. And also should remember that some medication like vitamin B, if you buy a bottle of vitamin B in the form of a solution, you will need alcohol to dissolve the vitamin. So there are, in some medications, the need to use alcohol. But the problem that I see is not to ingest, to drink certain amount of alcohol in certain things. It's to get drunk. This is the problem. Why am I drinking this? Because this is a medication, or, because I want to, get drunk. And in the end, when we say that Jesus, performed that miracle and his mother asked him to do that and so on, you see that because that was a party drink more than, a way of getting drunk. Because the amount of alcohol, people say, those who do research on ancient times wine, it was around 3%. So, less than a big beer. So the problem to me with alcohol is the intent to get drunk. This is the problem.
I see what you're saying, Munir. I may don't want to get drunk, but I may end up drunk because I had the first and the second glass. So it is a chicken egg thing, and I think the consequences are the same. Of course, if I'm drunk, I'm donating more fluids. But if I'm not drunk to the stage that I'm falling on the ground, I'm still donating fluids because I have ingested, my metabolism transform it into what they need, right? So it's a chicken egg thing, and yeah, but very good point. But I would like to go back to Sandra's example, where let's assume this place did not have alcohol at all. But I have no idea who they are. I have no information about what happened to Sandra. But let's assume this family had some habits of dishonest habits, right? What kind of ambient do you think we're going to have in this home? Won't be positive. And sometimes,
Sorry, Guilherme, I didn't hear what you said. What type of habits?
dishonest people. If you are dishonest, if you are chiefs or white-collar
Okay.
chiefs, if you like, right?
Thank you.
And you create an atmosphere that spirits that are very happy what you do will be there. And surroundings could be complicated because everything could be used for good or for evil, as we said in the beginning. So depending on your orientation or your beliefs, what you believe is not dishonest is dishonest. And from where I come from, it's very complicated because people even say it's a culture of things, and I don't agree in particular, but people say that. So it's complicated. So even now, let me go back to that word thing. Depending on what you talk at home, the language you decide to talk, people say the bad language, you are attracting not good things for you. Oh, you're going too far. No. Search on the internet, the power of words, the power of thoughts. And if you don't want to do it, so be it. So it's also complicated. But a good thing is we can change the atmosphere of our home, right? We can change ourselves. We can change the atmosphere of homes. And if you don't want to change for yourselves, change for your kids, change for your grandkids. If you don't love yourself enough, I hope you do, love your kids enough to justify you get better. And the Spiritism can give you enough information on what to do to make your home atmosphere or surroundings better. Gospel at Home is one of them. And there are other things to do, right? Because let's think about something here. We are living in a world that I cannot prevent what Christine, Munir, Cherry, Liz. Oh, there's a hand here. Sorry, I didn't see your hand, Liz. I'll come back to you. And Sandra, I cannot prevent what they would do at their home. And we have to interact. Sandra gave an example that she felt so badly at that day that she pulled off. And sometimes we do that as well. Let me say, Munir invited me to go to his place. Say, hi, Munir, how you doing? All right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sorry, mate, I need to go. I have another appointment that I need to go. But I like Munir. But there's something there that I'm not liking very much, you know? And now Cherry invited me to her place. When I crossed the main door, holy dear, this is very, very bad. You know, Cherry, I won't have time to sit. I just came by just to give you a hug, and that's it. And I'll see you later. You know, there are so many things. Yeah, hi, bye. That's hi and bye on the same time, in the same sentence. You know, there are things that we cannot prevent because we are humans. We need to socialize. We need to interact, right? But at home, at our home, we can create like a bunker, if you like. We can create like a shield. We can protect, create an environment for ourselves and to our loved ones. I'm going to revert my example. Sandra has a beautiful place, very good atmosphere. Cherry as well, it's a wonderful atmosphere. And I'm coming with my dark cloud. When I get into Sandra's house, she feels that, oh dear, girl is very heavy today. When I get into Cherry, she'll look at me, oh, what I have done. I should not invite him because he's come with a very dark cloud. And that example, dark cloud, is very realistic. Sometimes the dark clouds of spirits, they are following us. And as you may think, oh no, he's really getting crazy today. Guido is speaking something that's not true. I had the opportunity to work with one medium that she was by far the one that had more mediumistic characteristics altogether in the same person that I ever saw. And sometimes the person come closer to her, we could see in her face that she was seeing what I could not see. Whoa, that person is really not well, does not have a lot of good friends coming with her. So it does happen. So now I have another two hands. I'm going back to Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hello. I find this discussion about the alcohol very interesting. And I found your examples very interesting as well. What everybody said. But I would like to put out there something that I just remembered, because it's very difficult for us to kind of judge the place by its cover. And even if there is some alcohol involved in whatever. But I just want to remind us all of one of the passages of André Luiz's book. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it is when one of his colleagues and one of his guides is interacting with an obsessor. Everybody may know what I'm talking about. And the obsessor is teaching what really creates, what was the pathway that the person gave for him to kind of allow that connection to happen. And the thing that he say the most is about the inner motivation of everybody. So as Guilherme already said, that everybody agrees that Spiritism does not prohibit anything, but give you the knowledge for you to choose for yourself whatever you want to, get involved in your life, or what your actions are. And so I just wanted to bring to light this thing as a medium. We need to be knowing ourselves and having that self-discovery and observation of our attitudes and things, to practice the gospel at home, not to read the book, but to practice the gospel at home, which is difficult. But if our inner motivation is towards getting ourselves improved, and we are going to find ways, we are going to find motivation to do a little bit of extra effort. But if we don't look at ourselves as mediums and to kind of really have an honest look to ourselves, we can't really begin to find that inner motivation that may attract people in one side or the other. So I just wanted to bring that to light.
Yep. Let me as you're going to talk, I always pick one thing on another. And you said something very important. A word, very important. Connection. And that's not alcohol related. It is related to everything, right? When a connection with the spirit is done, it's a hard work to disconnect, huh? And sometimes the person himself or herself is not able to do it alone. So that's why it's better to prevent than to find a remedy. When the connection with the spirits, and I'm talking mainly with low-grade spirits, are done, it is indeed a hard work to disconnect, okay? And when we were talking to Liz, something came to my mind that I went to a place, there was a spiritist seminar, like, and there was a beautiful presentation, a video. I can even find, I think I can find and share with you guys later, showing what is the spiritist vision of people when they're drinking in a video, in a movie. Very, very good, very well done. And showing the consequences, how it happens, how blah, blah, blah. Very, very good. And that was, I think, was in the afternoon part of the day. And late in the evening, we went to the practice because everybody, not everybody, but a good chunk of spiritists that were together, they went to the bar, to the pub. And I started to have fun. I started to laugh because we did the theory and then we went to the practice. So I thought that was funny. So, hi, Denise. Oh, is Denise or Munir? Or I don't know.
Denise first, yeah. It's a great question, Guilherme. You mentioned that, like, sometimes we invite people to our house that comes like kind of heavy. How I know that like gospel home protects you, but what else can you do it to protect? Because I mean, it's natural to invite people around all the time. It's nice to have people around home, yeah. How can you protect it?
Well, first of all, I don't invite. If I know that it's that bad, I don't invite, right? But sometimes even without invitation, the people will knock on your door, right? And this is part of a life day-to-day thing. So you cannot prevent that 100%, right? But gospel at home, your day-to-day attitudes also create a shield. Why I mean day-to-day attitudes? One thing that happens quite often when people start to study and really leave what the Spiritism teaches, a lot of friends start to disappear. Friends that never were friends. There are people that like to do things together. And I'll change the subject, alcohol to something else. People that like to talk about nonsense things. And we used to have gatherings every Friday afternoon to talk about nonsense things, right? When you start to change your taste to things that are positive, to things that are all right, you don't feel compelled to go to this Friday evening gathering to talk about nonsense things anymore. You don't feel well. You feel like, oh, I don't like that. And instead of going every Friday of the month, you decide to go to a little bit more ahead, you decide to go only once, and sometime later you decide not to go. So naturally, you create a distance from things that are not what you want anymore, right? This is something that happened. Is that positive or not? I'll leave the decision for you guys to know, to decide if it's positive or not. But I'm saying that's a very common consequence when you start to change your behavior. And if you go, for example, if I like to go with a group of people to smoke marijuana or whatever, the ties that I have with that group sometimes is not friendship, it's the same taste. And when my taste changes, I don't want to use that anymore. I don't feel compelled to go. and they don't feel like they need to come to me anymore because they know that I don't use anymore. Or, you know, there are so many things that over the day-to-day life you will see happening. And equals attract equals in all earthly physics. Equal attract equals. So if you're not equal anymore to anything, could we even say gossip, for example? We talk about heavy things, drugs or alcohol, but they talk about gossip because there's a lot of people that like to do gossips. There's a lot of spiritists that do white gossips. So they feel like I can do that because it's all right. It's a white gossip, right? But it's the same thing. If you used to get together just to make gossips, and if you start to go there and you don't talk anymore about anyone, you're just here and don't say anything, your friends will start looking at you, well, what happened to you? You know, you're not fun anymore. And then the distances start to happen naturally. But the best thing to protect your home is the gospel at home. And if you cannot have the whole family do it yourself, when you change.
Thank you.
And that's very difficult. That's very difficult. So I have two hands. I don't know if Liz still want to talk. Do you, Liz?
Yeah, but Munir is before me.
Oh, I don't see Munir. Oh, Munir is there. Okay. Hi, Munir.
Hi, Guilherme. No, I just I felt the need to clarify what I said before when I said, you know, the intent to get drunk. And what I really meant was actually the effects of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like drink. I don't drink. I hardly ever drink. I won't say I don't drink, but I hardly ever drink or feel the need because I don't like that altered state of a glass of wine or half a pint of beer. That's enough to, I don't like that, you know. I feel anxious. And so with time, I basically stopped drinking. And but you know, some people, they have a certain resistance to alcohol. They can drink perhaps a bottle of wine and not feel, you know, that they are in that altered state. But as you said, the alcohol is there. The fluids that are being generated by the presence of alcohol in the body, they are there. And if I say, oh, I'll drink just a glass of wine, but if I drink every day, or if I drink in those days that I go to the Spiritist Center, I'll do any kind of, so, you know, there are many contexts where, you know, alcohol will certainly, you know, be, it doesn't matter the amount of alcohol that you drink, you know, will bring you certain consequences of that. And in my view, ideally, you know, we shouldn't drink alcohol. Oh, but I like meeting people for a glass of wine or whatever. So do you like meeting people? Or do you like the glass of wine? You know, what is that? What if you take the alcohol out of the glass of wine and drink, you know, grape juice, for instance, instead? So what we should analyze is the end. Why drinking alcohol? Why do I drink alcohol? If it is a celebration, you know, you just have, you know, yeah, just, you know, a tiny bit of champagne. Okay, it is the occasion. But if you, you know, turn that into a regular, you know, habit, then, you know, it becomes part of you. It's not an exception. It's, you know, a general rule. And yeah, I see a danger in that, you know.
Yeah. Munir, very good. Very good. Let me share a personal case here. And I like wine. I lived in France for so many years and I acquired a taste for good wine. I like wine, right? Never drinking bottles of wine, but I like wine. I have nothing against who likes wine. I would be a hypocrite. Yeah, I would be a hypocrite if I say anything different than that, right? But I'm involved in a Spiritist project for the last few years. And the first meeting we had with the benefactors that coordinate this project, they said something. They elaborate the rules, the guidelines for the success of the project. And one thing was very direct. For that group that is coordinating, you cannot drink alcohol. You cannot drink a drop. Well, not in the medicine, of course, but you cannot drink alcohol. And as always, you always question everything. Why not? Because alcohol will leave breach on your protection. And the nature of what you do, you could be attacked, or you will be attacked by those that don't want that to happen. And alcohol will create a breach on your protection, and the consequences could put in risk this project. But that is to tell you that, but they never said not to drink alcohol anymore. No, during the execution of the project, it must be done. You must not drink alcohol. And nobody is forced to accept anything. You accept willingly the rules, or you don't accept, right? And it does show you how things could be so subtle, and the consequences could be so great. So now, Liz, is you?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to call our attention again for another part, because we've been talking about how to protect ourselves. And I just want us to kind of reflect a little bit, what does it really mean? Because as a Christian and as a spiritist, yes, we need to protect ourselves, but it is us towards our own self, in my opinion, and to be vigilant in our attitudes. And we are going to make mistakes. No one is perfect as yet. And we just need to keep that motivation to self-betterment.
Mm-hmm.
When we have the idea of protecting ourselves, looking at the other, it gets a little bit complicated in my view, or looking at some sort of way to stop. But no, we don't get involved. We may not get involved into things ourselves. But for example, if someone that we love, or if some things lead us to have to be in a situation that maybe involve alcohol, whatever, because as we were talking about it so much today. I think we need to understand that we can be amongst things, but it is our own attitude that's going to protect us or not. We are not going to actively search those situations, but I just really want us to be a bit more thoughtful of it, because we live in society and we cannot be like monks, being away from people and things to protect ourselves. And we have lots of examples in the greatest mediums that there were. Like, no one that I know is anywhere near them in attitude and way of living. But in our daily lives, like I live it in my house, I do my best to practice the gospel. I know that I have some things that I have to continuously better myself, and I, through prayer, I ask for strength for that, and have people in my home that do all the things that I know is really difficult for them to let it go. But we can't just separate ourselves from people, and we need also to be that little light wherever we are. I've been with friends, very lonely friends. I'll go out with you, let's go. I love dancing myself. We go to this place, we dance. As soon as the atmosphere and the aim of the atmosphere changed, I felt really bad. I said, okay, my friend, let's go. And she said, yeah, no problem, let's go. And then we left. So, there are certain things that we need to kind of be a little bit attentive, I think, in what the aim of this protection is, to be honest.
Good examples. Hi, Christine. It's your turn now.
Oh, sorry. I was listening intently to what Liz was saying. In Australia, it's really difficult because we do have a culture of drinking. It's been that way for such a long time. But there's people that come on TV that try and turn people around and say you don't need to have a drink to have a good time. And so, Liz, where you're saying that you go somewhere, you want to dance, you like to dance, and then possibly the next step is, well, come and have a drink, and then you can have another dance. It's something that you don't want to be around, so you've decided that's where you leave. In Australia, it's quite difficult because you go somewhere, automatically if someone says come around for a barbie, meaning a barbecue, that the first thing is that entails taking your own alcohol. That's the way it is. But I myself don't partake that much, and I always have water with the wine because it is part of our culture, and it is a struggle sometimes to say to people, well, I don't want to go or whatever. So yeah, it is something that in terms of protection that you're continuously looking for. And one thing I just want to thank the facilitators for is being able to help people like me that are new to Spiritism, that I don't say that I'm a Christian, I say I'm a Spiritist. And people in Australia don't really understand that. The majority of people have no idea. So it is a struggle to say, well, what can I do to protect myself? So I've been encouraged to look at the gospel. I've got the book, which is what I'm going to do. But yeah, it is a struggle in living in our society to avoid alcohol.
It is, but we are focusing too much in alcohol here. But
yeah,
that's on everything. So now I'm going to do what I said in the beginning. I would like to ask Tammy to open her camera and tell us what she thinks. Tammy?
Could you say again, Guilherme? I couldn't hear it.
I would like to ask Tammy to open her camera. Hi, Tammy. Long time don't see you. Open your mic and let us know what you think.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just listening today because I had to do other things, but yeah, I have noticed the effects when I, for example, go out or I go to places that I feel don't have good energy, but mainly, for example, when I go to a club or something like that, next day I feel like I don't drink. I stopped drinking a long time ago, but I next day I feel like if I were drunk than the day before. So next day I feel like really tired. I feel all the effects as is if I had been drinking the whole night or things like that. And yeah, I noticed the heaviness next day, and I need like a few days to recover. Yeah, the same with when I'm in environments where, for example, I'll work sometimes, where people gossip a lot or talk like being negative about other people. I feel that very heavy, and I feel bad. Next day I feel sad. I feel a lot of emotions and heaviness when I'm in environments that are not very positive. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you. I was missing your presence. That's why I picked your name in the first place.
Okay.
So let me see somebody else now. Oh, she opened the camera for the first time.
Paula. Ana Paula.
I'll give her the chance on the end. No worries. Hi, Nicole. How are you doing?
I'm good. I knew you gonna choose me. I'm good. So the alcohol. Hi everybody. So first time I open my camera here. So hello to everybody. And the alcohol is something very complicated in terms of this subject, in terms of a lot of things in my life. Not because I'm an alcoholic person, but I do have many experiences. When I saw people sue another person because had like of drink. So yeah, I just was here listening and just thinking about life and thinking how it's true. If you have to choose which is the best way for you, just go for the right direction. And yeah, I think basically is this.
Very good. And Ana Paula.
Hi. I want to remind, in this conversation, it came in mind very strongly, that the kind of spirits that we know that are around bars and pubs and those places looking for the alcohol fluids or what it reminds there, what bring them, they are not in the hospitals. And the hospital also that have a lot of alcohol because of sterilization and that smell we get. They are not there because they know they don't find people with the alcohol intake that will send those fluids and those like that ectoplasma drown in the alcohol that they want. So just to remind us difference of alcohol intake and alcohol in the air, or like you take a propolis or homeopathy that is made with alcohol. So
Very
just
good.
this first. And the second is, I don't know who talked before, but I cannot imagine separating someone that says I am a spiritist and don't say I am Christian. And so it got very strong in me because I always say I am Christian, and because I am spiritist, I am also Christian. Just there was some, I don't remember who was talking about and made a separation between that. But
I'll be speaking about that.
It's not the subject today anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll be speaking about that next week.
Thank
So
you.
Can you please do our final prayer for today?
You're talking to me because
Yes.
Elsoli has the hand on, so I didn't know if.
Oh, I didn't see, but our time is over anyway. So, can you do our final prayer?
Yeah,
please?
I can. Let me put the camera now, and I got in a nice place. I would like to thank you, thank all of you for being here and make this environment around our places, our homes, and because all our thoughts together make this a special meeting, a place that has so much strength inside ourselves and inside the place where we are now. And I thank all the spirits that are with us, making this place more safe. And I hope this energy of love can be in our homes for a long time. I ask the good spirits to help us in the everyday, reminding us what we study and what we bring inside us from those meetings, and remind us in the small details every day to use them also. That is very important. It's the living of the gospel, not just the words and bringing to the others. So I love to remember what once was reading, was said many times also by Xavier, that is a small prayer where he would ask the spirits to help him the gospel, but if it's needed, to use words. So this is what I really think strongly we should ask our helpers from the other side, and that light is with us every day for next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ana Paula. Thank you, everyone. So I wish you all a wonderful weekend and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.